Hey guys, so today I'm going to talk about a common scam that a lot of people are running on contractors. So this has happened to me four separate times. The last two times I didn't even reply because I could recognize it immediately. But I want to go over this because I'm sure a lot of other contractors get this, and I want to make sure that people can recognize it early on. So this scam has gone slightly differently based on which time someone's been doing it to me, but it's pretty much the same thing. So it starts by somebody reaching out and asking for an estimate. I give them an estimate, and then they say that they have a method of payment that's a like a mobile banking deposit, and they say that they need my email and then what type of bank that I use. So I've provided that in the past before I figured out that this was a scam. And the banker that I talked to about this said there was really no issue with me providing that information. It happens, this scam happens with what comes later. So after they've explained their payment method to me, they'll then ask me to do them some sort of a favor. They'll then proceed to say that there's some sort of a contractor, whether it's an electrician or someone, that they need to reimburse, and they're asking me to help them with it. So they'll then say, for example, if my contract with them is $500, they'll say that they owe a contractor $2,000, and then they ask me, "Can I send you 2,500 so that you can send my other contractor 2,000?" It makes no sense at all. It doesn't make sense why you would send a random window washer that you've met or never even met before 2,500, and then they transfer the other person 2,000. But what the banker explained to me, what he's trying to do is that he would have given me basically a phony check for 2,500, and then I would have transferred either him or like his wife or someone the other 2,000, so that he actually pockets the 2,000, and then I'm out of the 2,000, and I never would have actually done the job. So if anybody tries to do this to you, what I did in each situation, and this is before I thought that it was an AI system, I just told them I'm not comfortable doing that, and I'm not comfortable doing business with them in the future, and that I'm blocking their number, and then I obviously blocked their number. So that's how I'd recommend handling it. I think this is an AI system, so it doesn't really matter too much what you say. Just block their number and don't deal with it. So there's a few red flags that you can look out for with this scam so that you can identify it before it even happens. So the first is that there's just going to be numbers from random area codes. So each time that I've had this scam attempted on me, the area codes I've never even heard of before. And that's not to say that you should just ignore numbers that are from random area codes, because a lot of times people move and they can have area codes from a different part of the country, and it's no big deal. But that's just a little bit of a red flag. The second one is that they will not answer calls. So any of these numbers, the ones that I've tried to call, there was some sort of automated message saying I couldn't call the number. And there was one that I texted saying that I wanted to call him because this was like the third time I think it had happened. And so I kind of knew he was going to try to scam me. And then it just texted back like, "Oh no, I'm not available for a call," or something, and I knew it was BS. So the third red flag is fairly obvious, but it's if they ask for the mobile banking deposit payment method. I don't believe that's an actual thing. I'm not sure, but when I Googled it briefly, it said that that was a scam to be aware of. And I've never had a customer actually have to pay through that method, so I don't believe that it's a legitimate payment method, although I'm not sure, but it's certainly a red flag. The fourth red flag is that they send pictures of their house that are just taken from Zillow, and they're pretending like it's their own. Because that happened one time when they had given me their address to their house, and I had looked at it, but I needed to see a picture of their deck to do an estimate on that. And what I found out is that the picture they had replied with was actually just taken from Zillow. So it was pretty obvious once I saw that, but then I realized it's probably not even the actual homeowner. So that was, a pretty obvious red flag. So the fifth and final red flag is there's basically a bunch of like weird responses, I would say. And this is what I've kind of been alluding to with why I think it's an AI system. So the best example of this is when I had given someone, or I was talking about an estimate for power washing their house, and then I asked, "Is there anything else that you want included in the estimate, such as a deck or a shed?" And pretty much anytime I've ever asked a customer that, they've either said, no, there's nothing else, or, oh, yeah, I want my deck included, or my shed. But this person just said, yeah, if there's stuff in the back that's dirty, power wash it. It really was a very strange response, and that's why I think that it's some sort of AI system that somebody's developing to try to screw over contractors. So just be aware of these sort of weird responses that don't sound very human. And if they are weird responses, it's probably a scam.